Wax Queen here. I am going to wax this lovely person's back. It's his first time he's a virgin. There's nothing so much fun as waxing virgins for you. I'm going to use the Berodin black wax because once you go black, you know that old saying. And I'm going to use these cool sterilizable, non-disposable plastic spatulas. So here's the deal. You use it, get a lot of wax on it, spread it, and put it in a container that has a whole lot of the wax off in it. This way you don't use an entire tree to wax a body part, but also more importantly, that large spatula has this very cool thin edge and it doesn't flex. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. A tiny little bit of our jasmine oil and a little bit. This wax, the Berodin wax, works over oil. It makes it better for the skin than powder. So I know that there are lots of brands that work with powder. That doesn't make it right or wrong. This brand works over oil and it just ends up more beautiful on the skin. Now, I was also asked if I would do these little patches on his arms. In fact, his wife asked if I would kind of start roughly here and go all the way down. But as this is his first time, we're going to be a little more delicate with him and just do this right now. I'm going to go ahead and get started. And when you're using a non-disposable spatula, you really want to get quite a lot of wax on the spatula and then wipe it all off on the body part. So this is the direction the hair grows. If you'll notice that I'm keeping my spatula at a 90-degree angle. See why I like these spatulas? They're just amazing. If you don't really want to drag on it, that irritates the hell out of the person. If I make the spatula flat, I actually will use too much wax. And this wax works better thin. So, have you had anything waxed?
Yeah.
What? Your nostrils?
Yes.
So let it begin, right? Now, when you're doing long hair, you'll get this tab. You have to just kind of ignore it. You also notice I'm not rubbing like mad. That was kind of the worst one right there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things about getting super experienced about waxing is you can tell when it hurt them, even if they just lay there super calm. When you know you had a little section that hurt, please make sure you say, wow, you felt that one, because then they at least feel like you have a clue of what they're going through. This section here grows in. If you are working on a super hairy back, I'm going to show you something that I do, because this actually doesn't qualify as a super hairy back. It's not quite a carpet. If you've got this section here that you can't see any skin underneath, I take the hard wax and I do this strip right in the middle and let that set up while I'm going to put wax over here. What's going to happen is it's going to give me this little clear spot to wax from. Because when you're working with soft wax and you've got hair that grows in like this, pulling it off, you end up with hair that's going in the wrong direction and it creates a lot more discomfort. Plus it kind of pops the skin. It's not nice. So I didn't need quite as much because I'm not doing as big as a section as that was. So is it better or worse than you thought it'd be?
It's better.
Well, I am the wax queen. That's good to know, though.
Yeah.
You know, we've heard that fear is like
Mm-hmm.
fear is worse than reality. Okay, here we go. Right in the middle of a strip. There will be no pressing around when you're picking that. Like, no joke. Get that edge and pull. And now you can actually finish it with soft wax. If he was also super hairy, like I would do this strip and then I would do a strip straight down the middle, because again, that opens up two solid sections. So if you're looking at working with soft wax, it's always easiest to have defined areas, not crossover. Hard wax, you can be less discriminatory about that crossover of hair growth. Let me go ahead and do this side. So I'm going to wipe it off. I realize that you can't see. You'll just have to imagine that I'm doing exactly what I did on the other side. And you notice I didn't get quite enough wax, so now I have to use another spatula. You really do learn as you go how much wax you can get on your spatula, so you don't have to go back and re-dip. Speed waxing is not about moving quickly, it's about being super efficient. And when you are learning how to use these spatulas, it takes a little while to get the hang of it, but I love the tool that it is. I also love that I'm not creating this enormous amount of landfill, because waxing is a landfill service. Even if they say the wax is biodegradable, it's, 50 or 60 years before it actually biodegrades. Get a couple strips over here. Now this one, again, I realize you can't see. He can feel it though. Because this is the direction the hair is going. But you also notice I'm really not rubbing. One of the things about waxing, so much fun, is that speed waxing is that so many times we're taught in school, particularly when you're new, that you really have to rub that strip. You really don't. Just give it a rub. Use your entire hand. You'll also notice I'm keeping my hand close to the body. I'm not popping it into the air. When you start popping it into the air, that's not good for the skin. I folded it over for this little section. So when you have little bits left, don't do that. The skin doesn't like it. Put the whole strip down over those little bits, give it a rub, and just pull the strip off as if you were pulling the entire strip off with wax, like that, instead of, and this is true of any soft wax. I see that happen all the time on legs where people are, and the skin just gets super annoyed. So, last little section here. Now this says no hair there, super easy to get the edge. Where there is hair right in the middle is where you have to kind of go with gusto to remove it. So did you see what I did? I turned the strip over and stuck it so that I had a tab already there. And yes, it removed right away. With the Berodin wax, it can be quite thin and it sets up very quickly. Let me see, what do I want to do that with? For the sake of the camera. Let me come around. Can you see this? This would theoretically be upper arm. There. And now that I've been over there, I can see this one patch. Because of course I'm standing on this side, I can't see that. Unacceptable. We can't have him leave with a patch. There we go. Okay, now to clean up, I'm going to do a little bit more, kind of a generous amount of the jasmine oil. You want to get all of the stickiness off. You want to get any last little bits of wax. So I'm going to rub it in and make sure I take one strip and I'm going to go over the entire thing. Use nice pressure, don't press around with it. The pressure actually makes it feel better. Here's the other thing about back waxing. This is the perfect time to actually say it. Backs often break out. You really want to make sure when you are the face, back and chest or breakout areas, you really want to make sure that you send the client home with blemish control and that they use liquid soap, pumice gloves, like our body exfoliation kits, and the blemish control every day. You want the blemish control morning and night. You want to make sure it gets put on to kind of get in advance of any of the issues. That's it. There's your back waxing. Berodinwax.com. Give us a call. Peace out from the Wax Queen.